So look, I'm a huge proponent of everyone has a right to their own opinion. But dismissing the value of media because it uses a lot of CGI is really a meaningless critique that also shows just a lack of knowledge about how extensive CGI use is in everything, including the most prestigious art house films. And I'm not saying that there are no valid criticisms of Spider-Man No Way Home or superhero films in general, but you're not really offering a critique on the film. What you're saying is it can't possibly be that remarkable no matter how eloquent my review, simply because of the superhero genre. And this is a huge problem I have with the art world as a whole, but it also applies to film critique and analysis. There's this incredibly pervasive and pretentious idea that anything that has too much broad appeal couldn't possibly be of high value. It's so backwards to me, this idea that anything that appeals to the masses is too common to be good, and the only good art is that holds its meaning out of reach of anyone not trained specifically to understand it. And how do you quantify the value of art if not the experience and the reaction it gets from the viewer? Shakespeare wrote for the masses. The Louvre is filled with art full of religious iconography meant to be understood by absolutely everyone. If art is supposed to be a method of expression and communication, isn't it more successful if it resonates with more people? And furthermore, art serves an incredibly important role in historical study. I don't think there's any debate that art meant to appeal to the masses, or the lowest common denominator, as you put it, is most reflective of our society. Doesn't that have inherent meaning? I just find it really ironic, this idea that true art is only understood by the select few, because who's selecting those few? It's an entirely classist and capitalistic sham. And the superhero genre, in my opinion, is very similar to the stories that shaped the way we tell stories. Homer's Odyssey, for example. How is the ancient Greeks writing about demigods fighting gods and monsters any different than what we're doing in the superhero genre today? Furthermore, audiences are more educated than they have ever been. There are levels of nuance to these movies, and there is a reason to analyze them. If you're going to dismiss all of that simply based on the genre, I just don't take your opinion very seriously. You're entitled to it, but I think it's misinformed and a little pretentious. And look, it's not that I don't understand your perspective. Lars von Trier's Melancholia is one of my favorite movies. I was obsessed with Roma, but you know how many times I've watched those movies versus how many times I've rewatched superhero movies, Star Wars? I think media should make you think. I absolutely do. I think there's inherent value in high art as well. And I agree that sometimes fan analysis goes deeper than probably the intended meaning of some of this media. But isn't that a good thing, that this media is encouraging people to think more critically and analyze media more deeply? The Harry Potter phenomenon, for example, wasn't because J.K. Rowling is the greatest author of our time. It's because kids were actually excited about reading. It's also worth noting that critiques like this are always made anytime art becomes more accessible, like when movies were invented.